The power of solitude. In today's hyper-connected world, silence is often mistaken for emptiness. Solitude is seen as failure, and a man without notifications, plans, or validation is treated like he's behind in life. But what if that silence, that stillness, is not a punishment, but a portal? In the YouTube video, Why the Longer a Man is Single, the More, by the Stoic Spirit, we're offered a profound reframe. That solitude, when embraced, doesn't weaken a man, it forges him. This article will walk you through the core psychological, emotional, and stoic truths behind this message, explaining in detail why long-term solitude is not a crisis but a catalyst for masculine power. The fear of silence, why most men run. Most men aren't afraid of being alone. They're afraid of what emerges in the aloneness. When the external noise fades, no texts, no meetings, no one needing you, what arises is something far more confronting. Your own thoughts. And those thoughts often bring with them shame, regret, and forgotten promises. Silence isn't empty, it's confronting. This isn't just poetic, it's psychological truth. The absence of distraction forces a confrontation with the shadow self, the buried emotions, the unhealed wounds, the unlived potential. Jung called this the integration of the shadow, and it's the most essential, painful, and transformative part of a man's inner journey. Avoidance becomes the norm. Men jump from woman to woman, job to job, screen to screen, not to build something but to escape something. But silence strips away those masks. And when it does, you either break down or you awaken. The man who chooses to sit in silence, feel the weight of his doubts, and breathe through his insecurities becomes something rare. A man who is no longer afraid of himself. That's power. Approval detox, the invisible addiction. Here's a brutal truth. Most men are addicted to approval. Not drugs. Not alcohol. Not gambling. But the constant need to be seen, liked, validated. It's neediness disguised as connection. This modern craving shows up in subtle but dangerous ways. Checking your phone obsessively. Posting to be noticed, not to express. Laughing at jokes you don't find funny. Shrinking your truth to stay liked. This is the slow erosion of masculinity, because the man who bends for approval eventually forgets how to stand. The Stoic path begins with a detox. You stop seeking permission. You stop reshaping yourself to match the room. And you start asking one powerful question. Am I doing this because I believe in it, or because I want to be liked? That question alone is a threshold. It burns away performance and exposes truth. And yes, it costs you. Fake friends fade. Surface applause stops. But what you gain is everything. Self-respect. Inner peace. Clarity of voice. True presence. The paradox is this: when you no longer need to be seen, you become unforgettable. Clarity through solitude, returning to the man you were meant to be. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's restoration. When a man spends enough time alone, not out of despair, but by conscious choice, something alchemical happens. He begins to see clearly what he truly values, what drains him, what he's been doing just to fit in, what kind of man he actually wants to be. You realize how much of your thinking never belonged to you. In solitude, the borrowed dreams dissolve. The social programming fades. The shoulds and musts that ruled your life lose their grip. And what remains is a man stripped to essence, authentic, aware, and anchored. You stop saying yes when you mean no. You stop tolerating shallow friendships and hollow intimacy. You stop lying to yourself just to avoid discomfort. This is what the Stoics called ataraxia, unshakable peace. Not because life is perfect, but because you are no longer at war with yourself. The power of inner stillness, from chasing to attracting. Once you choose solitude, something radical shifts. Your energy changes. Your presence deepens. Your voice carries weight. And here's the paradox: the less you chase, the more you attract. Not because of magic, but because of mastery. People are drawn to centeredness, to calm, to depth, and nothing cultivates those traits like silence. You don't need attention, you carry attention. The modern world produces reactive men, always performing, over-explaining, begging to be liked. But the Stoic man doesn't explain. He simply is. And that is the highest form of self-respect. Choosing yourself, the Stoic declaration. At the heart of this video lies a powerful invitation. I choose solitude to forge my strength. This is your line in the sand. Not because solitude is comfortable, but because it's clarifying. Because it purifies you of every false identity you adopted just to feel wanted. You're not here to be liked by everyone. You're here to become someone you can respect. A man who no longer asks, do they like me? But instead asks, do I respect who I am becoming? That shift is everything. Final words: the man who walks alone is not lost, he's rebuilding. To the man who is single, still, and silent, this is not your downfall. It's your initiation. Every great man in history had a period of exile, of quiet, of rebuilding. In the dark, find your space. So, if no one's texting you, if your weekends are free, if no one is asking for your time, good. You finally have space to meet the man you were meant to become. Because in the end, the world doesn't remember men who blended in. It remembers the ones who stood in silence and walked out with fire in their chest. You are becoming. Remember this. You are not late. You are not behind. You are becoming. And becoming takes time.